It's 2022, and I've got 4 things that will help you release music better than you ever have before. Let's talk about it in 3, 2, 1. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Christian Indie Artists and Songwriters Podcast. I'm your host, Brian, and on today's episode, we're going to be looking forward. The past couple weeks, we've been reflecting, looking back, assessing, and figuring out what we did in order to move forward. But now we're here. Now we're in the forward. Now we're in the new year. At the time of this recording, it is January of 2022, and I'm so excited for this year ahead. I feel like we've learned so much in the past year or two, and bringing all of that wisdom and experience into this new year is going to make it the best year yet. I hope that you had a chance to celebrate the wins as we evaluated. I hope that you had a chance to look back and see how far you've come, not necessarily how far you haven't gotten, but how far you've come from where you were, because that is how we stay in the game. So I hope that you had a chance to do it over your holiday season. You probably spent some time thinking through your goals, your aspirations, and what you want to do in this new year if you're anything like me, and that's awesome. So I feel like now it's time to put that into play. I feel like there's so many different ways we can look at our music journey, but I feel like these 4 things I want to talk about today will help you move forward. And those 4 areas are the production, the visuals, consistency, and marketing. Now those things all come together, and we've talked about all these things kind of individually, but I wanted to frame them up in a new way and hopefully give you a plan as you look forward to this new year of music. We all have strengths and we all have weaknesses, and I think recognizing our strengths and weaknesses within these 4 categories will really help us not only move forward personally, but as we grow our team and we grow our influence, because you may not find yourself being able to do production the way that you want to, but you might hire a producer to help you with that, but that's okay because you're developing your strengths and your weaknesses and understanding how people can come in to complement what you already do. So let's jump into these 4 topics to help you release music better than you ever have before in 2022. So I don't know if you noticed this, but in 2021, it seemed like production levels were just at an all-time high. We heard some really amazing textures and vibes coming out of music in all genres, and I think that's really exciting, but I think that all points to having incredible sounding production in 2022. Now, like I mentioned, it may not be your strength to be able to produce your own music from start to finish all the way through, but there's so many talented producers out there to partner with, and if you need any resource and help with that, just send me a message at brianbolivarmusic.com or head to our CIAS Facebook group. There's a ton of people in there you can talk about to figure out what is the best producer for you. But I do want to encourage you, like I always do, to having a grasp of the production process is so key to be able to create great sounding music. Now that may seem a bit counterintuitive. You may think, well, why would I need to learn anything? I can just hire someone to do it for me. Well, yes, that is true. And of course that can work. It's so important to have a general understanding, and it's never been easier to have a basic setup at your house. You can get a microphone, headphones, and your laptop already probably has a DAW, digital audio workstation, built in. If you have an Apple computer, you already have GarageBand right now, whether you know it or not. And if you have a Windows computer, there's all kinds of great and free software out there that you can start recording right away. So the entry level is at an all-time low. The access is there, which is amazing. And last year we created the Logic Pro X for Artists and Songwriters course, but there's a free module that if you click the link below, you can jump into the course right now, and it's called Record Your Vocals Like a Pro, and it's a 4-video module walking through my process of recording vocals like a pro. And I think that's so key, especially collaborating remotely, because even if you hire an incredible producer to make the track and do all the mixing and mastering for you, you're going to have to get your vocals to them. Yes, you can find someone locally, and that's totally great to do that. But if you're able to record your vocals well in your own home setup, it really unhinges you to be able to collaborate with anybody at any time. So click the link below, jump in and record your vocals like a pro for free, and you can take it at your own pace. So I hope that you do that, because again, I think in 2022, production is an all-time importance to creating and releasing incredible sounding music. So number 2 is the visuals. Now, of course, music is audio. We all know that. But in our highly visual, video-driven social media age culture that we're in, every piece of audio that we share for our music has to have some visual with it, whether that's artwork, whether that's a lyric video, whether it's a music video, whether that's an audiogram. We can't just share audio. So it's really critical to take time and consideration for the visuals. Yes, that starts with the artwork usually. Figuring out the right album artwork to go with the song or the EP or the album is so crucial, because that's what people see first. Oftentimes when you do your post about your song, you're going to be sharing the album artwork. That's the visual representation of the song. If the song is in 2 halves, the music is half and the visual is the other half. So it has to fit well. And you may not be a graphic designer, and that is totally fine. There's a bunch of people out there that can do that. If you jump into the CIAS Facebook group, there is a ton of people there that are releasing music regularly and may know someone or be able to create graphics for you themselves. And that's a great resource to jump into. Or you could go to a website like Fiverr that we've actually used before to have people do artwork for us as well. So it just depends on where you are. But if you can create it yourself, that's also great as well with tools like Canva, Photoshop, and other great photo apps like that. Regardless of where it comes from, I think it is really critical in 2022 to spend time, to spend thought, to spend prayer over the visual side, because again, that's what people see, that's what people connect with, because music is about the senses. There's feelings, you hear and you see it, and the visual part is such an important part, and I think can be overlooked, no pun intended, but it's trying to actually do it in a way that draws people into the music because it fits and it looks right and it sounds right. And I think that's so important to take care of the visuals for social media and for YouTube and for all the other platforms that require video and photos. It's just so worth it to dig in. So 2022, I think, is the year that we all should up our visuals game for our music. And before we jump into number 3, if you're finding value and encouragement in this video, could you please hit the like button? This is the way that it'll push out this video to more indie artists just like you to get their songs heard too, and I'd appreciate it so much. And number 3, I probably sound like a broken record. I probably sound like a broken record for this, but consistency is and will always be key. I believe it's the difference maker between people who can do it and do it in the long term. Continually showing up over and over again is so crucial. And as far as consistently releasing, I've personally been releasing a single a month, basically every single month since September of 2018. Now in 2022, this is the first year I'm actually going to be pulling back on that a little bit, and I plan to release a song every 3 months, getting out a total of 4 songs this year. When I first started releasing music back in 2018, my production load was not nearly what it is today. I was working full-time at a church, and I was able to get those songs out at a much more rapid rate, but now spending much more time working on other people's music, I've had to pull back slightly on that, and I want to make sure that I'm not just releasing it just to get songs out every month, and making sure that when I do it, they go out as far as they can. And that's my hope for you too, is do you have to release a song every month? No. Do you have to release a song every 6 months? No. I would find the balance where you can be as consistent as possible, because ultimately, yes, the algorithm will favor artists and songs that come out more frequently. When you put more stuff into the algorithm, it churns out more. We just finished the Christmas season. I had a song that I released in 2019. It spiked up to my second most streamed song over the Christmas season, and that song has been out for over 2 years now, and it picked up thousands of streams over the past month or so during the Christmas season, and that couldn't happen if it wasn't out. So, do you have to release songs every month? No. But should you release songs as much as you can? Absolutely. If you can only do 1 song a year, that's great, but make sure that it really does something good for you. Make sure to put the best production. Make sure to put the best visuals on it, because if you're only going to able to do 1 song a year, then you have to make it great and make it kind of carry over the whole year. So it's my goal personally to release about a song a quarter for this year, but putting much more energy, much more effort. And that's sort of this whole idea of these 4 points today, is that when you do get a song out, you get the best production, you get the best visual. And then the next point, as we'll jump into, is we'll get the best marketing. But consistency is still and will always be key to getting the best music, whether it's in the past, the future, or today in 2022. And number 4, marketing. Now that we've got a great sounding, a great looking, and a consistent release schedule, we have to get it out there. We have to let people know about it, because nothing can be more frustrating and discouraging than putting your heart, soul, and oftentimes finance into a song, and then it doesn't get heard. Because sure, we want to do this, we feel inspired to do this, and yes, it's so important, and that should be the spark for the whole deal. But if the song's not getting heard, it will eventually become discouraging. It will eventually become wondering, why am I doing this? So the marketing piece is so vital. I still believe that organic reach is alive and well in 2022, but there's so many songs being uploaded. There's 60,000 songs being uploaded a day, and I bet you that number is going to be updated soon, where it might even be more than that. Eventually, of course, it will be more than that. Everything keeps growing. So it can happen. I still believe in pitching songs to curators and doing that. but I feel great marketing teams that focus on this can help songs go further, faster, in a way that maybe we wouldn't be able to do on our own, or if we could, it might take a whole lot longer. So again, I keep saying this, but if you go to the CIS Facebook group, post in there, ask what marketing people have used, who they hired to help them. That's a great way and a safe way to figure out the way to do that, because these are a community of people that are doing what you're doing. And there are some great people out there, but also it can be a little bit sketchy because sometimes we don't know, and sometimes people are just saying they're going to essentially get you this many streams for this much money. Never do that. Never do that, because that is always fake bots. That is always something that not only doesn't help you, the number might go up, but no one's hearing your song, and that's completely pointless because it's not impacting anyone that way. The algorithm will not help you in that way, and realistically, when Spotify finds out, they can shut you down. And that's definitely happened to a lot of people. I remember the beginning of last year, there was all these songs that got pulled down off of Spotify because of these bot services. So don't do that, but do go in the group and ask around, ask who people use and how they found success with, because that's the best way to actually get all of these great sounding, great looking, consistent releases out, is by having a marketing strategy, both organic and maybe hiring someone as well in 2022. So what's the combination of these four things? Great production, great visual, consistent releases, and powerful marketing that will help you get your songs out into the world in 2022, making impact. It's not one or the other, because you can have incredible sounding production, you can have incredible artwork, you can have consistency in releases, and you could even have great marketing. But if you don't have all of these things kind of working in tandem together, then it's not going to be as strong as it could be. It will work, sure. You'll get streams, sure. People will like and love your music, but I believe it's the combination of these four things that will ultimately push and give the greatest impact for your songs. So again, don't forget to click the link below. Jump into Record Your Vocals Like a Pro for free. Learn how to record great sounding vocals from your home studio. And whether you're working with a producer or not, it's such an important skill to have, I feel like, in 2022, to be able to actually record, because not only for just music releases, but for things like YouTube and social media, just kind of knowing the ins and outs, the basic ins and outs of recording great sounding vocals, and in turn, great sounding production is kind of the start of that. So jump in for free. It'll be yours to keep forever, to refer to at your own pace. Also, if you're here on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, and I will see you next Friday at 5 a.m. on the CIS podcast.